Welcome to Married to Movies. Industry insiders John Russell and Tracy Kring live and work happily in cinematrimony. They're sharing behind-the-scenes adventures of writing, producing, and appreciating films.
Morning, babe.
Morning, babe. How you doing?
All right.
I love your new sweater dress.
Okay.
What?
I got this for $2.
$2!
I'm like speaking on a panel about women filmmakers today, so
Right.
I put earrings on.
Boom.
And this podcast gets the benefit of me giving 1.5% of fucks.
That may be overstating.
Have you seen this thing going around? Well, it's going around on TikTok, maybe other places,
Oh,
about
God.
research about women who don't wear makeup being like more psychopathic.
I wouldn't say psychopathic, but probably they have they give a less shit. So therefore they, but
Until
Right.
men
yes.
stop predominantly being the people who run beauty companies
Correct.
creating products for women,
Right.
I will not be wearing them.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Okay? Because
Fight the power.
I know a lot of young women
Right.
who are struggling with cancer and have struggled with cancer. And
I'm curious where this is going.
I believe that, like, okay, your nails.
Oh wait. Oh my God. Is this going to be like a conspiracy theory
No, I think this is pretty much obvious.
that makeup gives people cancer?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
Okay.
saying that the things that we're putting on our bodies and encouraged to use as products,
Right.
we don't know what some of these ingredients are
Ooh,
or how
see,
they could be affecting our bodies.
I think you have to believe and
Okay,
trust what the
what if
science.
it's not a good idea? Like, okay, for instance, the stuff like that they do like your fake nails with,
Yeah.
you're not even supposed to breathe it. Like, people at the nail salon have to wear masks when they use it.
Okay. All right.
And that's going on your nail bed, which is permeable. Through osmosis, you are picking up those chemicals that you're not even supposed to be breathing.
Okay. I understand that.
No, I don't know
that.
anybody who's researching this.
I think if you live your life in sort of this state,
but you're not a target.
Everything may
you're
or may
not
not
a target.
be killing me.
You are not a target.
Why would women be a target?
Because how many products a day do you get in the beauty arena?
Okay. When you say target, you're referring to a target audience. You're not saying target like corporate America is trying to kill women.
No, I'm not saying that.
Okay,
Quite
well,
obviously.
Well, I'm just, I'm
saying how many.
You are capable of saying that.
We're marks. We're marks. We've been sold a bill of goods that
Right.
we should shave legs, shave underarms.
Right.
This is hair that you're born with, folks.
Right.
Why the fuck is it there if it's not supposed to be there?
Talking about being a mark. I was in line at McDonald's. You asked for a McDonald's treat.
Mhm.
They asked me at the end and they said, "Would you like anything else?" And I said, "No."
Right?
And then they goes, "Would you like a Krispy Kreme donut?" And I said, "Yes." I'm sorry. That is too much to put on a person. I've already said no. And then you come back with, "Would you like a Krispy Kreme donut?"
Well,
that is unfair.
Two things. One, you said yes, but did not get me one. So go to hell. You're the worst husband ever.
Wait a second. Okay, that Krispy Kreme donut is expensive. That is $2.89. Do you remember what the second thing was? No, I'm just saying.
The second
how do you
thing-
refuse that?
No, the second thing, that is the way to ask a question.
Okay.
Do you want anything else?
And I say no.
But see, that you and I were having a conversation about generalities and how generalities are not helping our working relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, hey, this week, can we work on the edit of a script?
Right.
And I say, sure.
Right.
Nothing's
And
going to
then
happen.
nothing actually happens.
You can guarantee nothing will happen.
Right.
No plan, no
Right.
further discussion.
Right.
It's dead.
This is something that could really breed frustration.
Sure.
In a
Because you feel
relationship.
ignored.
And I mean, and I'm just not talking about like a sexual relationship or a marriage relationship.
McDonald's did it right. They said, do you want anything else? And you said, no.
Right.
Okay. Because that's non-specific.
Right.
But when McDonald's said, would you like
want-
a Krispy Kreme
Would
donut?
you like a Krispy
That's
Kreme
a
donut?
specific request
It really
now.
is. It really is.
And now the decision is, do I or don't I? Not what. Not what do I want.
Right.
Okay. Because the brain is like running the list of the menu.
It's like I've
right?
already gotten everything that I intended to get
Right.
at McDonald's.
Right.
Right.
But a specific question,
Mm-hmm.
would you like,
A Krispy Kreme donut.
or would you like to upgrade that for $1?
Right. You wonder if they would have started with the question, would you like a Krispy Kreme donut?
They've researched this. They have researched this.
Would you be less likely
Well,
to get a Krispy Kreme donut?
Look at what's behind that. Would you like anything else? No.
Right.
Would you like a Krispy Kreme donut? What does that say? That says it's an option maybe you didn't consider.
Right.
It's something you might be missing out on.
Yeah, that's true.
FOMO.
Total FOMO.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's really brilliant.
Yeah.
And like those kinds of things that just happen out in nature, out in the world, I'm like, implement those.
Mm-hmm.
That's already been workshopped. That's already been researched. Like, just implement that shit.
Yeah.
'Cause it's gonna work.
100%. 100%. No, that's great. That is a great, great, great point. So, yeah, I'm a mark. We watched a few movies this week. The first one that I saw
Mm-hmm.
was this movie called September 5th. And it was one of those
Okay,
movies
and I
that
have a-
you
This
were
is
like,
another
it was
instance.
on.
You are a bad husband.
I'm not a bad husband.
This is another instance of your failure.
Oh my God. Really? Why is
Yes.
everything turned to I'm a bad husband?
September 5th, you were watching it,
Yes.
and I was working
You were working.
on
Yeah.
my laptop, still in the living room. Like, I'm still facing the television.
Yeah, it's
I
like
just work.
you're there for the
I'm
movie.
there, right.
Yes.
But I am completely tuned out.
It's about the terrorist attack at the Munich Olympics.
And you looped back around as a good husband, as a good partner. You looped back around and said, I really do think you should check September 5th out. You weren't watching it. It's exactly the kind of movie you would love.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I just didn't feel like doing much of anything. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch September 5th. I do like procedurals. And within the first 5 minutes, I was like, this is going in the pantheon.
This is like one of those.
This was like made for me.
This is like a Big Short margin call.
I don't know who the hell writes those kinds of scripts or how the hell they write them.
Moneyball. Yeah. They're historical, but they really capture the feeling and the zeitgeist of a moment.
Specifically about the kinds of movies that I like that, I finally located like why I like them.
Okay.
I'm fascinated by the perspective that we have now in 2025
Mm-hmm.
and rewatching live events from the past.
Okay.
Okay? Like whenever you are here now
Right.
and you rewatch the footage of 9/11, which I've done several times from a lot of different angles,
Right.
like from just the traffic control,
Right.
tower, I've heard like all of the people saying like, is this an exercise? Like
Right.
we don't know what's going on.
Right,
Why
right,
is that happening? Because it's like an opportunity to know how this whole thing is going to play out,
Right.
but like hear how they're unfolding it as it's happening.
You're listening to innocence.
Yeah.
The innocence of having not already experienced the event.
Yeah.
The thing I really appreciated about September 5th was that it was a great example of the way creatives take on a problem.
Oh my gosh. So basically September 5th takes us through the events in Munich and the terrorist hostage situation from inside the newsroom.
From the inside the newsroom.
And
these are sports
yes.
newsmakers.
Yeah.
I mean, they're
there to
they
cover
are
the
there for the
Olympics.
Olympics.
Yeah, they're
okay?
covering the
They
Olympics.
even though Peter Jennings
Yes.
is one of the
Howard Cosell is there.
Right, because they were there to cover the Olympics.
And specifically, like, Peter Sarsgaard is in it, and he's kind of like, I guess, the lead producer.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
I don't know television
There's
hierarchy.
I mean,
It's like story producer.
Yeah. He would be like the kind of the guy that makes the big decisions. But the main guy in it is this.
He's the guy from The Big Short.
Oh, yes. Yeah. He was one of the two dudes.
The two little investors.
Yeah. Two little investors. Yes.
Who recruit Brad Pitt to help them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that was him.
It's his first day, basically, like producing the big show.
Oh, yeah.
And everybody else is gone. Like, people are on vacation or people just aren't there.
Right.
It's breaking in the middle of the night. And just every single character, so great, so fascinating. Actually had some backstory. There was innate bigotry of the Germans, know, in the Americans. And the
German police had no idea what they were doing.
Well, even the German girl who worked in the newsroom was kind of like, they're hosing this.
Oh, yeah. And I mean,
spoiler
alert, everybody dies.
From this perspective, they're like, well, how can we get cameras in there? And then they hear the all around the village is being locked down. Only Olympic athletes can get in anymore.
Right.
Immediately they go to work on a fake ID.
Right. So they
a runner.
So he can go in.
We're still shooting on 16 millimeter.
And grab the footage and bring it out
for processing.
For processing.
And incredible. Yeah, and he goes back and forth.
As you're going along, all of a sudden you face these moral dilemmas.
Yes.
Discussions.
No, they're just like, go to the hallway.
Go to the hallway. Talk about it for 15 seconds. Figure out what we're going to do.
No, and even inside the three main guys, it's like, well, are we willing to show someone get shot on TV?
Yeah. What do we do if that happens?
Well, the guy says, we'll cut all the other cameras. We'll shoot it on the 16 millimeter. That'll give us time to develop the film and make a decision.
Right. And they're like, yes.
Yes.
Boom.
And like the way that they were just like,
fly out.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the way decisions get made.
Well, and like CBS wants their airtime on their satellites back. And ABC is like, but we're covering this live and the whole world is watching.
Yeah.
We don't want to be ABC airing on CBS.
Right.
And the lady who does the titles, at the bottom, she says, why don't we just do a burn-in of ABC on it?
Just put ABC at the top there.
And then it's obvious we're providing it, but they're carrying it.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like,
boom.
That's it.
That's the answer. And these questions get answered super quick.
But this is so much like how things happen on film.
Yeah, it is.
On films, because, you may be standing around and have a problem or have an issue that you're dealing with. And all of a sudden, we always say best idea wins, because a PA might say, oh, well, I have a power converter in my car. You don't know where an answer might come from.
Which is why you have to lay it out on the table so that everybody can see. Okay, this is what we have to solve. This is the problem.
Hopefully you have put people in place who are collaborative and creative. Flow,
which won Best Animated Feature, a $3 million animated movie made on Blender.
I mean, Blender's been around forever.
Right.
Flow was so beautiful.
Oh, it was so beautiful.
I don't even understand how they made it.
It was just metaphysical. And
I was really invested in this cat's life.
Oh my gosh, I loved the capybara.
Yeah. Well, the capybara is like you.
He was kind of like me.
Yeah. Just kind of like tired and falls over.
No, and each animal kind of had its own character and its own personality.
Well, and the bird protects him and then gets hurt because of it. Right. And then I think it died.
Oh yeah. It died and went to bird heaven.
Went to heaven.
Yeah. This isn't our world.
No, it feels like a different
planet. Different planet or a different dimension.
But it's got the same kind of animals.
Same kind of architecture.
Mm-hmm.
They're like representations of humans, but no actual humans.
They're like statues that have crumbled.
Yeah, it feels like this
post-apocalyptic.
A ruin.
Yeah.
Yeah, they live in a ruin, a beautiful ruin.
Took some magic mushroom gummies
Took some magic mushroom gummies. Yeah.
that we brought home from Amsterdam,
Yeah,
which
they didn't do.
they're
They didn't really
not.
do much. No.
If there is any shroom ingredient in this stuff,
Yeah.
it's not on the label.
It's like lion's mane mushroom.
It's just what you would take for like vitamins.
Yeah.
But I found if you take quite a few of them,
Mm-hmm.
you might feel a little
Might
something.
get a little something.
So we did that.
Yeah, and it was just really just like pleasant. The whole movie was very, very pleasant.
Yeah, it was very sweet.
Then we watched The Coffee Table,
Which is not pleasant.
not a pleasant movie, an incredibly
And I have
bleak movie. Funny in places, at least at the very beginning, it's funny, but boy is it bleak. Oh my God. It's really like tense.
I'm
It
gonna
gives you that
need-
feeling of like Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Uncut
I'm gonna
Gems.
need Mythbusters
Oh my God.
to prove to me that coffee table
Okay,
could have done what it did.
Tracy's contention is that what happens in the movie is actually not possible within the realm of physics.
I
You
don't
know?
believe that.
Yeah, because
And for me,
because the thing they do really, really well in the movie is at the very beginning this very kind of sleazy salesman sells this guy this coffee table, and it very much feels like this will change your life. It's like a Turkish bazaar. It's like, oh, there's gonna be a genie.
Yeah,
or,
a genie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some sort of magic. Something is going to happen, and the movie is not that.
no. And
But
like,
it kind of makes you think it's going to be that. What I appreciate about this kind of movie is you have an idea as a filmmaker, and then you explore how far down the road this will take you. Like
Right.
all of the things that will happen and the way that one character is feeling in relation to the rest of the world, and how things that would normally be like pleasant and fun actually become just horrific
right.
from your perspective because you know what's going on. It was a really good idea
No, it wasn't.
because of the physics in
Yeah, and it's
your view.
On the maybe first episode of season 3, I was talking about having mental health issues and intrusive thoughts and stuff.
Right.
And that has
Abated?
lessened
Nice.
quite a bit after New Year's.
Right.
First of the year.
January
January
February.
through like March.
January, February, March.
Usually.
Right.
I have kind of a freak out.
I wondered honestly if it was like this winter syndrome thing.
Right. And I don't know, maybe,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, I will read things as punitive,
You can't take
leftover from
stop
growing up in the South.
You got to stop taking things personally.
No, I know.
This is a
I really
religious
do.
thing. This is a religious.
No, it is.
It's like we feel like God is up there
Well-
and he's like moving our chess piece into the shitter. You know, it's ridiculous.
Basically, it boils down to, well, I'm bad and I deserve something bad. I did this cohort that this guy led, Richard Messing. It really was kind of like the beginning of me working on myself. I was looking at his class again and the notes and stuff from it. And I
Right.
saw something. And he said, when you discover the elements of a paradox, you can locate and change the underlying false belief using a reliable method, which he lays out. And that dinged for me because of the situation with the purse,
Mhm.
where we lost the purse and you said, well, something we believe is true is not true.
Right.
So we had a false belief.
Right.
And I was like, you know,
and we're under that assumption, and everything that we're doing is based on that false belief.
yeah. And
Right.
I think I will believe false beliefs. Like this morning, I was like, where's my other sweater?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought I had put it in the washer. And my false beliefs can be very, like I can be very committed to them.
Well,
But I hadn't even
and-
put it in the washer.
And I feel that. I feel it. It feels like the scope of a rifle coming across me.
yeah.
It's like, did you lose my sweater? Where did you put my
yeah,
sweater?
that's fair. That's fair because
You
it
know,
is.
It's like that little red dot.
No, I'm like, I hate
I'm like,
Mondays.
I'm getting away from it, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I have nothing to do with your sweater, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I hate Mondays. Like all of a sudden hit me like a lightning bolt. The false belief about January, February, March.
Right.
Which is like, yes, absolutely. The industry has slowed down.
Sure.
Absolutely. But more and more films are getting shot in November, December. I think people are finally catching on to the benefits of that, which I will not go into right now.
Right.
But what happens is November, December, we're either working on a film, putting it together, or working on it or shooting it.
Right.
Or we're celebrating the holidays too. Right?
It's family
because
time.
we have been usually shooting something in November or December.
Right.
So when January, February, March comes, I'm sitting here going, why don't I have any work?
Why isn't anything happening?
Well, you know what? Because I didn't make anything happen in November and December.
We didn't plant any seed.
No.
So why are we expecting a crop when we didn't plant any seed?
Yeah. And just like the relief of, oh, you know what? I was working. I should have still been looking out for the rest of my year.
Had to be thinking about it.
Or my next year.
You have to play the short game, the medium game, and the long game
yes.
all at the same time.
And in, October, November, December, I have not been playing long games. I've been playing short games.
Exactly.
It was just so much relief because I was like, it's just a startup period.
Right.
Like January, February, March is just restarting everything.
It's rebooting. That's right. It's a new year.
It's not because I did anything wrong.
Right.
Energy begets energy. Like once it's generated out,
right.
Like it just spreads. It just starts to grow. The energy of like, I got on and I found like somebody who needed script formatting help. And I picked up that little job. And,
last night I went out to networking. And,
it's like we're just
cool
trying to get back out there. And that's a great thing about life is that they just come along and say like, oh, hey, lesson over here. Oh, you're triggered. Let's teach you this lesson. Let's uncover the thing that you're living your life by that's wrong, that does not work.
Right. Someone I really learned a lesson from was our actress in Sky Valley. We said every week we were going to kind of feature one of our members of our cast or crew that helped make this science fiction movie possible in New Mexico. And Penelope she was 7 years old. She actually had her birthday on set. Which was incredible. And she was just never done a film before.
You and Anthony, the producer, had an audition, a live audition on the reservation.
And honestly, Anthony and I did not expect much from that audition. We felt like we were doing our due diligence by having that audition.
Well, I mean, you are shooting on a reservation.
Yes.
You should open your film up to
absolutely
all of the people there.
Right.
And so,
but did we expect to find our lead in that audition?
No,
because we had cast from.
We were looking at
everywhere.
Nickelodeon and like
absolutely.
Disney,
Yes.
and we were looking at like huge little actors.
Yes.
So we cast two people from that live audition. Our lead and also another little girl who shows up. She's
adorable.
The cutest stinking.
She was so great.
She is so adorable and such a sweetheart. She was like, it's always fun when you have kids there and they have a really good time because they like don't want to leave and they like give their parents a real hassle. You know, they're like, I want to live like this forever.
Penelope, for the first 40 pages of the film, she's kind of the whole thing. She is like
she's
heart
very
of the
important
movie.
To the film.
We are hanging a lot on her. You
yeah,
know?
it's like finding Natalie Portman.
Yeah,
it's like Drew Barrymore.
We needed Drew Barrymore or Natalie
E.T.
Portman for this movie.
Yeah.
Yes,
and I often
I think she blows Drew Barrymore out of the water.
Well, she certainly blows her out of the water in the way that I've heard that Spielberg had to get the performances out of her.
I mean,
and
an improv genius.
I don't even know how she does that.
I mean, her improv is fantastic.
Well, it was so funny. JR, who we'll talk about, who plays her father, they just kind of went off script for a minute, and she went with it, and then she ended up giving a line, like just naturally saying
Right.
something, and he's like, I like almost cried when she said that. Like it hurt, because she's like, well, why is that? Why we don't live with you,
You're right.
or something? And he was just like, damn, girl, like that hurt.
She's 7 years old. There were 30 people who are all professionals, and they are there, and they are depending on you to know your stuff, to nail the take. And then there's all the physicality involved.
I know. And
it's not, it's like, go here, sit here, pick that up.
That's what we told her. We worked with her for several months every week.
We did.
Focus on memorization of just memorizing everything. And that's why.
Character. Yeah.
Character, but also like understanding the line, understanding the context of what she's saying.
Right.
With actors, unless you have those lines down to the point where you can do anything and do those lines.
Right.
You're not going to be able to handle it when you get to set and all of a sudden people are pushing and pulling on you. I don't know what in the hell they had to do to be able to pull off having her there every time we needed her for as long as we needed her. They have another kid. I don't know how they supported.
And she has to do school at the same time.
She has to do school.
3 hours of school every day, along with everything she's doing with us.
Well, she has to do school and she still was in school.
Yeah.
I don't know how they work that out. And I was like, thank you for me not knowing any of that.
Yes.
Like, that's an amazing stage parent where they have to be juggling 100 things.
Right.
But they're keeping it completely away from you.
Yeah.
It's not your worry at all.
There were agencies that were like, we've heard about this little girl. We want you to give us some footage because we would like to represent her.
Yeah.
Well, like, whoa, how did you hear about this little girl? It's like, well, the words gets around, man.
Another actor who was considering a role, their agent read the script and said, who's the kid?
Right. The kid has to be unbelievable.
They said, if this kid sucks, this movie is going to suck.
It's going to suck.
And the guy was like, they say, the actor was like, they say,
right,
she's great.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, well, if she's good,
yeah,
you should do this movie.
We love you, Penelope.
Morningstar was great with her. Like, Morningstar did a lot of just like helping and handling, to keep her engaged in the scene. They had a lot of fun together.
Oh, man, she would constantly sing. They were singing songs together, and they were. I mean, it was a lot on Morningstar because Morningstar has
crying.
to hold.
I'm crying.
Why are you crying?
Because I miss her.
That's sweet. You should video. You should send her a video. You should say hi.
Yeah. I get to see her like every day when I edit.
That's true. You do.
We haven't seen The Brutalist yet. You were describing to me that AI had been one of the things they used to help with the accents for the actors.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's really cool. And you are kind of like anti-AI?
It's just it's a tool.
AI is not sitting there creating or doing anything without being prompted.
No, you are utilizing that. It's just like having a new color, in your Crayola box.
Yeah.
Okay. And that color did not exist before you started to use it. But you're the one that's actually making the picture.
Yeah. And I recently got annoyed at AI. At ChatGPT. I don't pay for the pay version, like the pro or whatever. I was formatting that script and I thought, wow, this would go a lot faster if I could put a scene in and it would assist with the formatting. So I was like, do you understand, the Cole Haig screenplay, formatting rules?
Someone had sent you a script and they had written it, and they had no idea how to actually write a script.
Well, it was like a novel.
Yes, they had written it like a novel.
AI was like, yes, I understand that. Yes, here's the rules. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to give you this text, and you format it. And it was just like shitting the bed. And I was like, no, and I was like, you have to do this, and move the character and this, and indent this, and do this.
Yeah. And
it got it right one time. For like one scene. And I was like, okay, great. I've trained you now.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, let's use this format
Mm-hmm.
and do this next section. And it shit the bed again. And I was like, can you explain to me how you can do it right
Right.
and then not do it right,
Right.
based on that exact same situation?
Right.
And it was like, no. And I asked it to do something else for me to help me with film festivals and entering and notification dates
Right.
and when you're supposed to be there and events and stuff. And I'm like, here, take this website, right?
Mhm.
At the film festival and
Right.
make a calendar for me.
Right.
And it's like, I can't open websites.
Sometimes AI is almost like when you teach your dog how to do something. It knows how to do it, but it's not dependable. Like, I'm sure AI can create an amazing script about an assassin who decides that he is going to leave his career until, you know, the girl that, I mean, basically the same movie that they're making now anyway.
I find,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
how many? Anytime I see a movie and it's like this assassin, I'm like, I'm gone.
Oh, yeah.
I'm done. It's
It's
I'm
like
not
buddy cop
interested.
movies used to be that way.
Yes.
And
yes.
assassins are that way. And just like, oh God, a couple in a deserted cabin. Okay, no. Something I do find interesting is actually just having a conversation with AI. Through the conversation with AI
Mhm.
and a ton of terrible ideas,
Right.
I started to realize like, oh, there's like avenues of income
Mhm.
and revenue
Right.
that could be incorporated into this.
Interesting.
And just through the conversation with AI, you know, I came up with some really good ideas.
It is prompting you.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop prompting AI and let AI start prompting you.
You send your script out for coverage, and sometimes you pay for that and sometimes you don't. Just depends on, you know,
Depending.
who you want to cover it.
Right. Right.
And so I had put a script into AI and asked it for coverage.
Mhm.
And it did not do a good job,
Mm-hmm.
but it did bring up a few points that I was like, well, I wonder if that's how an audience would see it.
Mm-hmm.
And is there a way for me to, and it didn't solve it for me, but it did bring up questions that were good to bring up and that nobody had brought up yet, because it's
Yeah.
analyzing it in a different way. Yeah, this is helpful, but in conversation.
You know what's helpful?
And I feel like everything
Right.
in life kind of opens up through conversation.
I feel open by our conversation, Tracy.
It's hard not to get romantic about movies. Thanks for listening to Married to Movies. Jon and Tracy will meet you for breakfast tomorrow.